Good morning, children. Welcome to session 3, lesson animal behavior. Already in the last session, we learned about there's a human behaviors, different types of human behaviors like say there's an instinct, then a conditioning and the imitation. And the next type, that is imprinting behavior, is totally absent in human beings, and that can be seen only in animals. And even we learned about this investigating behaviors of the human. That means sometimes inside the field, and we call that as a field investigation, and sometimes in the laboratory. And as I told about that movie, that is Aparichitudu, and then say this Chandramukhi, all these things about there's a laboratory investigations. And even we learned about the next one, that is a tagging method in animals. Okay, so these are the things we learned in session 2, and now let's talk about these two scientists. We learned about these two. Who is the first one? That is Konrad Lorenz and Ivan Pavlov. And who is this? Means this is the scientist who did his investigations on geese, especially to study the behavior, that is imprinting behavior. And he told that means these animals, because of this imprinting behavior, whatever the first moving object they see after their birth, they consider that object as its mother, and sometimes it is useful to its that animal, and sometimes it is harmful, right? And who is the next one? This is Ivan Pavlov, and he is also a very famous scientist, and he did his research on animal behavior like conditioning. Okay, and on which animal he did that? That is dog. Now here in this session we are going to deal with one lab activity. Okay, and in this lab activity we are using some animals, that is cockroaches. Okay, and here what we are doing means we can take one shoe box. Okay, shoe box or the one kind of a cardboard box like this. Okay, and now so we need to divide that into 4 parts like this, by keeping a cardboard, one horizontal and one vertical. In this way we can get 4 boxes, right? You got it. So here also we can find this thing. Okay, and on one side, that means on this side, we can make some holes to this cardboard, so that through these holes the light can enter. Okay, and what about this side? This side are no holes. Okay, so that no light, and so these two will be dark. These two will be dark, and these two chambers will be having the light. Got it? So here you can find in this, see, light. Here this is light and this is light, but these two are dark, right? And now what you have to do means you have to keep this wet cotton. Where means one we can arrange here and one here. Got it? Right? Where means this is wet and this is again wet. So how we can make this wet means by arranging a wet cotton. So totally, because this kind of arrangement, we can find 4 types of chambers. What are they? The first one, when we take the first one, it is light and dry. That means that chamber receives light and it is dry. That means without any wetness. And just below that we can find light with damp conditions. So it also receives light, but it is wet. Okay, and what about this third one? It is dark and dry. Dark means there is no possibility for the light. Okay, so it is dark and it is dry. And what is the fourth one? The fourth one is dark and damp. Damp means there is wet, right? Now in this way we need to create 4 conditions in this cardboard box, right? And now what we have to do, we need to take some cockroaches, say for example 20 cockroaches, and then we need to leave these cockroaches in this box. Okay, and we cannot say that in which chamber how many, like this. Totally 20 cockroaches are present in this box. Okay. Okay, now we need to cover that box, okay, with the lid there, and then keep that aside for some time. So after 2 or 3 hours, if you carefully observe this box, can you find any change in that? Yes, definitely you can find a change. What is that change means? Almost all the cockroaches, they get accumulated in the fourth chamber, that is dark and damp. Actually, where you can find the cockroaches in a home, that means in a kitchen. Okay, why means a kitchen? It is a kitchen and even in toilets, bathrooms like this. Why means they are damp. Damp means they are wet and of course they are dark. Okay, and even in a cupboards also we can find. Okay, from this we can say that these cockroaches, they like which type of conditions means dark and damp, and that's why so we can find that all these cockroaches, they come and settle in this fourth chamber. And here what is the question, and here we can find in your textbook, we can find some questions. What are those questions means? See, and here, yeah, against this lab activity, you may get one question. What is that means? How these cockroaches are able to identify dark conditions. And even you see, when it becomes night, mosquitoes also increases. Mosquitoes, they enter our home and they start biting us, right? Here, what is the question means? How these mosquitoes, here we can find the question, see there's a third one. Mosquitoes and the cockroaches come out of their places only when it is dark. How they identify light and dark means actually these two animals here, if you carefully observe, cockroaches and the mosquitoes, they like they like a cool temperature, right? Okay, and at what time we can find cool temperature? Daytime or night time? Yeah, certainly night time. Okay, so as it becomes cool at night time, they can identify that this is a night time. And that to be, inside their body, we can find one clock, and we call that as a biological clock. Biological clock, or we can say circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythm, and with the help of that clock, they could able to identify that means what is daytime and which is nighttime, like this. Got it? So with the help of this capacity, these cockroaches and the mosquitoes, they come outside at night time. And what's the next one? Say these ants, which usually go in line, reach the sweets kept in a tin. And how do they know the way to reach the tin? Have you seen this picture? So if you carefully observe these ants, these are very disciplined animals, and all these animals, we cannot find any leader, or we cannot find any traffic police or nothing. But even then, these ants move only in a straight line or in some line, okay, in a very disciplined way. How it is possible, and how they could be able to identify these sweets which are kept in a tin means, they have a good sense of a smell. Okay, and with the help of that capacity, they can identify where the sweets are. Okay, and once they found the sweets, then what they do means they release some chemicals. In 8th class, you got a word, there is a pheromones, and so these pheromones are released by these ants. And when that pheromone reaches another ant, that another ant is able to identify what is the meaning of that message. Okay, so with the help of these chemicals, they could able to, these ants, not only these ants, but almost all the insects, they are able to communicate with each other. Got it? Okay, and then what's the first one? Here, our pet dog barks only on strangers. If we don't stop dogs into the kitchen, and how would they behave? No, that means it is a kind of a learned behavior. That means we train the dogs. That means how to behave with the family members and how to behave with other strangers. Okay, other than the family, like this. Okay, because of this training, they get habituated for this. Okay, and whenever they see the stranger like this, right? Here, he is a postman. Okay, and when see there's a postman who is a stranger, then what you do, the means it goes to him, and so it climb over him and it starts barking. Okay, and if you don't shout and give the signals, get inside and shut your mouth like this, then it goes on barking, and even sometimes it may bite that person. Alright, this is all learned behavior. Learned behavior, right? Okay, and here, so when you observe this lab activity, this is very important for your long answer questions. Okay, so here in which chamber we can find all these cockroaches. That means dark and damp conditions, right? Okay, and here we can find one thing. This half is kept dry with the help of calcium chloride. Calcium chloride. So whenever you purchase any new flask or something like this, inside that you can find one pouch. Have you seen? Yeah, one pouch, just like a tea bag. What is that? So inside that we can find this chemical, that is a calcium chloride. What is the use of that? Means that calcium chloride is useful to absorb moisture. If any moisture is present inside the flask, that is absorbed. Okay, so that no bad smell can be seen in that flask. Okay, that's why in almost in all the new items we can find this calcium chloride. So here, for what purpose we are using this calcium chloride? Means to make this chamber dry. If any moisture or a wetness is present, that can be absorbed, and so that it becomes dry. Got it? Okay. So you please go through this activity in your textbook, and it's very important. Right? Now let's come to some other questions. So bats and owls move for food at nights, and how do they identify? When you observe these two animals, bats and owls, these are totally nocturnal animals. Nocturnal. What is meant by nocturnals? Yeah, the animals which are active at night times, or which comes out for food at night times. Such animals can be called as bats. They are called as nocturnal animals, like bats, owls, mosquitoes, like these things. Okay, even scorpions. But what about the humans? What we do? That means, we are active at daytime and becomes inactive at night time. That means we take rest at night time. Correct. So what are we? Means we are said to be diurnal animals. Diurnal animals. But what are these animals? These are nocturnal animals, and even how these animals are able to identify means, just like already I told you, inside their bodies you can find this biological clock, and with the help of that clock they could able to find out, right? Okay, and what's the next one? So think that here some bulls are bluffing. Okay, and think that we untie them. Untie means think that we released them from the plow. Okay, then what means? Whether they go away? No, they won't go away. But even though their necks are untied, then they come back. They come back to this plow, and they start ploughing. Okay, and even while it is feeding, say here, moves towards the tub while feeding. While it is feeding, it go towards this tub, that means to drink water. Why they behave like this? Means it's all because of what? That is we train them. That is a condition. That is what do you call this kind of a behavior? Means this is called as a conditioned behavior. Okay, and because of this, so these animals they behave, right? And what's the next one? Birds collect different materials to build a nest. Okay, some other birds they use only leaves, and some leaflets, and some grasses, and some papers, and some small sticks, like this. But how do they know the quality of those substances? Means, so they get all this knowledge by their birth. That means, even they know how to build the nest from their birth itself. So what do you call that kind of a behavior? So that behavior can be called as a instinct behavior, right? Here, see, we can find that the bird is taking some grassy piece, right? Okay, why? Means it knows that fact. Okay, that's it. Okay, and the next one, when you may observe these two animals, there is puppies or kittens. So when you are growing or you are rearing these animals, some of the people have the habit of rearing these puppies and also this kitten. So if you put a piece, if you throw a piece of paper or a cloth, then what they do? That means they play with that and they like to tear it off. Okay, why means that's all instinct behavior. Okay, and what do you call this behavior? This is instinct behavior, right? Okay, that's the answer for this question. And what's the next one? In a particular season, birds migrate from long distances. How do they know their way? Have you seen this kind of scenery? Yeah, sometimes in a particular seasons, right? So in the sky we can find that the birds, large number of birds are moving like this. Okay, and what do you call that process? Yeah, that is called as a migration. So for the sake of food or a shelter or for reproduction, see, sometimes the birds are moving away from their natural places to some other places. Correct. Great Siberian crane, you studied about that in 8th class, right? That's a good example for this migration. But so when they go to new place again, what happens after a few days or a few months, they come back to their original place. But how they identify the route means this is all because these birds are having a good sense of smell, good sense of smell. Okay, and with the help of this smell, they could able to identify this routes and even this orientation based on sun. Orientation means they identify the sun's direction. That means how the sun is moving, either from east to west or west to east or something, right? So orientation, what do you call that movement means, that is called as a orientation. And even earth magnetic field, even this fact was not known to this scientists so far, but just recently this scientists, they could find out that, see, inside the brains of these birds we can find one special part, and that part is able to identify this earth magnetic field. Okay, and with the help of this capacity, the birds are able to return to their original places without forgetting the route, their actual route. Original. So this is a way how these animals are able to do all these things, right? So from all these questions you can find different types of animal behaviors, and in the next topic we are going to learn how different types of animals, they especially these birds, they build their nest and how they construct their shelter, how they behave and how they hide their food materials, all these things. Okay, so that's all for today, and have a nice day. Thank you.